Good morning. Before we get started today, I wanted to take a moment and have a look at our beans and our radishes and a few other surprises that are beginning to happen. So I am going to walk over here and I'm going to turn my camera around. Let's see what's happening here. If we look at our radishes, look at that. Look at how amazing the radishes are. I don't see any activity in the carrots yet, but if we travel over here and look at the beets, look at here. And look how beautiful the little stems are, the seedlings are that are beginning to poke up. Oh my goodness, these are just wanting to sprout and take off. My husband was actually totally amazed at how long the roots were. Take a look at that. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Now, let me grab my bean that we planted here in the cup, and you can see, whoops, look at the roots on this. It's just like in the pictures that you might find in a book. If you look at the stem, or the root, I'm sorry, coming out of the bean, traveling down, and then soon I am going to imagine that we have a stem that will pop up. But there we have some of the things that we planted. Now, let me travel over to this side. Here I have my flowers that we made the other day, but look at this one, how beautiful it is. And as you can see, if everybody did their homework, we made coffee filters with black circles. And when we did that, if you remember, we did the circle around here. You can see a little outline. And then we put it in the water after we folded it. But look at how beautiful the black turned out, because black is made up of many colors, so that as the colors travel through the filters, they begin to separate out. I see the blue, I see some red, all sorts of things that are in there. But I just think that's pretty cool. Here's our brown. You can actually see some purple in here, which means that it must have some blue and some red in it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, hopefully everybody will be able to make a little flower, and then I will add it to my, flowers there, and I have a beautiful little springtime arrangement. All right, guys, now that we kind of summarized our week from last week, we're going to switch our gears, and this week we are going to just have pure science fun, kind of like magic with our science experiments. The first magic trick that we're going to do is I have a baggie and I filled it with water and I put some green food coloring in it just so you could see it. If you wanted to do it, use green, red, blue, whatever color you would like, or you don't have to put food coloring in it at all. I just thought it'd be more fun. But I am going to magically take a pencil and I am going to poke a hole all the way through my Ziploc bag, and we are going to see if we can keep the water inside the bag. So, on the count of 3, I'm going to need your help. On the count of 3, I am going to jab a hole through my Ziploc bag, out the other end, and let's see if any water comes out. Are we ready? Help me count. 1, 2, 3. I got it halfway in there. Let's see what happens. There. Look at there. I poked a hole in my bag of water and no water came out. That is pretty awesome. Whoops, this pencil's a little wet. I had it in the sink. Let's see. Now I'm going to see if I can do it again. And we're going to poke a hole and go out the other end. Let's see if I can do it all in one try this time. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Well, barely. There. Look at there. Both of my pencils are inside or all the way through my baggie, and none of the water is coming out. That's pretty crazy. You know why? Well, you really aren't going to understand this, but I'll tell you anyway. The plastic that the baggie is made from is called a polymer. You know how in class we learn new words? Well, this is a polymer. And what a polymer is, it's a type of plastic that when something is poked through it, like the baggie here, the plastic forms a seal around the object that is poked through, and it doesn't allow the liquid to escape. Now I could even, I'm not going to squeeze real hard because I will probably get drenched, but I'm going to give it a squeeze, and look, the plastic still does not leak. But when I pull my plastic out, the hole is too big for the polymer to seal back up. And guess what will happen? It's going to look like a fountain. Okay, are we ready? Let's go the second half. This is the fun part for you. On the count of 3. 1, 2, maybe I better bring it down here a little bit so I don't get wet. 3. There we go. Let me pull this one. Ooh! Now, make sure if you try this experiment, you do it over the sink or a big pan so that when the water does come out, you don't make a big mess, okay? And then you can put everything in the garbage can when you're done. Okay, you ready for number 2? Let's go over here and start up our other experiment. Our next experiment, or magic trick as we can call it, is we are going to take a balloon and we are going to blow the balloon up without ever having to put it in your mouth. Now to do this, you've got several ingredients that you need. First thing is I have some baking soda and I have vinegar. Now if you remember when we made our volcanoes, our volcano, when we added the vinegar to the baking soda, it foamed and bubbled up and it came out the top of the volcano. Well, today we are actually going to add vinegar to a bottle and we are going to put the baking soda inside the balloon. And then I will show you kind of the cool thing that's going to happen. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my vinegar and I'm going to pour it down in here. Pour it in there. Okay, I hope I have enough. I might need a little bit more vinegar in there. If we do that, let's see. Sorry about this. Let me pour, just it'll make it a little more fun. Okay, now it's a little bit easier if you have something called a funnel at home, but guess where my funnel is? It's at school. So I have my handy dandy helper back here, Will, my son, and I am going to take my balloon. Now I kind of blew it up a little bit to stretch it out because you know sometimes it's really hard to blow a balloon up. Well, I'm going to stretch the mouth of the balloon out really, really wide, like this. And then I'm going to get my son, Will, to put some baking soda down in there. If we make a mess, that's okay. We'll clean it up. Okay, put a little bit more, Will. Okay, let's see. I think that's good. All right. Thank you. All right. As you can see, my baking soda is down here in my balloon. Now, very carefully, Will, I might need your help one more time. Can you hold the bottle so it doesn't move from me? Now, I have to do this so that I don't spill any of the baking soda into my vinegar yet, because when the vinegar and the baking soda mix, that's when the fun begins. Okay, see how I just did it right over the top of the bottle? Now, on the count of 3, we are going to lift up the balloon, and the baking soda is going to go down into the bottle with the vinegar, and let's see what happens. So are we ready? The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Look at my balloon. Look at the balloon. Holding here so it doesn't pop off, but do you see how the balloon is getting bigger and bigger? Because the baking soda and the vinegar cause a reaction that makes a gas called carbon dioxide. Well, the gas doesn't have anywhere to escape from, so it goes into the balloon and it blows it up. And if you wait long enough, the balloon will finally deflate. But we're not going to do that because the gas is going to stay there for a while. But try this at home. This is a fun one. You can do it as many times as you want, but you have to always remember, anytime you do this a second time, you need to use fresh vinegar. And rinse the bottle out and make sure there's no baking soda down here yet, so that the bubbles in the carbon dioxide don't begin before you're ready. Okay? Have fun, and we'll figure out what else we're going to do tomorrow.